guys, so this is going to be the first part of the LS swap series where I'm taking the engine and transmission out of a Camaro 1998 right there and swapping it into my 1970 Nova. I'll get into the story of how I got the Camaro and all that, and just show you guys a rundown of the car. So let's get into it. So me and Walker just got done dropping the engine. It's right down there. It's a 5.7 liter V8 and a T56 transmission, which is a 6-speed manual. This car has about 300 horsepower, I think, and it'll be quite the upgrade from the Nova, because I think it has about 100 maybe. But here's what we're working with. You know, the engine itself is in pretty good shape. I think it has 130,000 miles, and it doesn't shift, transmission doesn't shift into reverse, but that'll be one of those things I can fix. I've seen videos where you can replace that. It's just a little gear inside of there that you have to replace. So I'll get that done and then go through the engine, redo some of the seals, like the rear main seal, you know, put a new clutch in it, and just a couple small things like that. As far as the engine teardown goes, I was considering trying to tear the heads off and get into that, but more and more I'm looking at it, I'm thinking just take the valve covers off, check that out, and then, you know, clean up the valve train and all that, and then rear main seal, obviously, because I already have the trans off. But that's as far as I'm wanting to go with it right now. A couple years from now, I may want to do a cam and go ahead and just, you know, do a full build on it. But right now, I'm just trying to get the Nova swapped and over with. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on it right now, but that may change. And for the rest of the car, it's in pretty rough shape. Like you can see, this thing was just neglected its whole life. And what ended it was old guy wrapped it around a tree. And I know I've been selling stuff out of it. Like I sold the stock seats, and I spent $2 grand on it to begin with and sold $500 of parts so far. Plan on selling the rear end out of it, which I think I can get $750, maybe $1,000 for. So all in all, I'm getting my money back and just trying to invest it into parts for the swap. And I was thinking about cutting apart the wiring from this car, but the more I'm looking into it, I think it'll be a waste of time doing that. So I'm just thinking about going with the Holley Terminator X and just doing that. It'll be a plug and play situation, just get back out on the street. So if you got any other suggestions, I'd love to hear them, but that's kind of what I'm thinking for now. And from what I've seen, the Holley Terminator makes it super easy to tune it yourself if you don't have HP tuners. So that's another reason I'm really interested in that. Because if like I said earlier, if I want to do a cam, I can just type it in on the little computer, I think, and then, you know, it'll be running, not have to ship the computer off to a shop or have it dyno tuned. So, I mean, that's the main reason I'm drawn to it. So for the cooling system, I already have the radiator and fan setup off the Camaro. This is already going with this engine, so I already know that it's going to plug straight into the hose connections that we got, and, you know, be perfect for cooling this engine. All I got to do is figure out how to mount that in the Nova, which that shouldn't be a problem. So we got that sorted out pretty well. And main other thing is that I'm going to have to adjust the floor pan. I'll have to cut out a hole for the shifter to go in. I do already have a TH350 with a floor shifter, so there already is a hole in the floor, kind of centrally located, but I'll probably have to cut out a little bit more, just, you know, kind of work it with the jigsaw, and then I can weld in some patch panels. There's other odds and ends, like I broke the clutch line when we were removing the engine, and, you know, those are just the kind of thing, like I'm gonna have to replace some stuff. I'll probably do a new clutch master cylinder, and just while I'm at it, just to make sure this thing's in good condition. But right now I'm just gonna pull that header off and then try to disconnect the engine and tranny. And we're done. having a hard time videoing with one hand, but I went ahead and just took off the shifter and the rear cross member along with that stuff. There's like this weird brace that goes to the back of the car, to the rear end, to the transmission. I guess just to help stiffen it up, but I don't think it's gonna need it on the swap. But anyways, just took some of that off of there in preparation to take the trans off. And right now I'm gonna clean it up and then pull it off the bell housing. Anyway, now I'm draining the transmission fluid and then we'll go and pull that off of there. From what I've seen, reverse just in this tail housing, so I just have to take off his back end, and there's a gear that you can flip over just because the teeth are worn out, and then there's a manufacturing defect where the clutch fork for reverse is an 1/8 inch too tall, so you just grind off a little bit of it and then add a washer to compensate for that. And like I said earlier, I may take it to the machine shop just to have it done right, but you know, that's as far as I'm going with the teardown. Not messing with anything else, just gonna run with that and fix reverse. Alright guys, trans is out. I'm having a hard time videoing stuff just because I'm working by myself right now, but trust me, I got it out. It's right there. So now it's time to put that up on a workbench, and then I'm gonna start trying to diagnose the problems with it. As for the engine, I'm gonna go through the seals like I was saying and just check everything out, but not doing a full build on it right now. So that's kind of where we are right now. Let's get back to it. So now all the bolts are out on the bell housing. Pretty sure this is a stage 3 clutch, but we're about to see, and also see what kind of shape it's in. I'm really thinking about just going with the stock clutch because this is a pretty much stock engine. So why have, you know, it's not making any more power than it would stock, so why push it, just make it harder to drive. That's kind of my thoughts on it, but you know, I may just end up saving some money and just keep this if it's in good shape. Now I've been slacking on the filming just here, but you know, engine's out, transmission's out, I got that right there, and I'm about to start working on that maybe next weekend. Then got the motor right here where I can get to the seals and work on that conveniently. I'm hoping I can sell this for maybe 500 bucks. You know, the whole front end with power steering, all that. Car was wrecked, but I think this is all good condition. And there's plenty of people that have V6, like the RS Camaro, and they get this and put a junkyard 5.3 or 4.8 in it. So there's a market for that. I think I can recoup some of my money back right there. And then, you know, I said it in the last clip, but I'm gonna do a stock clutch. So, you know, just sell that and kind of recoup some money to buy a new clutch. But yeah, we're moving along, making some good progress. I think it's safe to say Camaro's at an all-time low. This thing's like an absolute pile of junk. It's almost looking as bad as this thing right here. But I'll let you guys answer that one in the comments. So I don't know what I can get for this thing. Like I said, the frame damage on it makes it pretty much worthless, so I'll just take it to the scrapper and maybe get 200 bucks for it or something like that, just in metal. But I mean, this thing was slid into a tree and doesn't even drive straight, so not worth anything except for a junkyard. I'm gonna pull the seats out, and then I've just been taking anything that's somewhat valuable, which I don't think there's anything left, boys. Hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of the Nova LS swap. Next video, I'll be turning the engine and transmission, and I'm just about to order a new clutch and Terminator X for it. So you guys stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you next time.